with every day you've already completed in an eternal journey that has brought you here, to this present moment. So let's honor it by taking 9 breaths and leaning into each word while we exhale. Ready? Breathe in. Hold. Perfect. Powerful. Strong. Loving. Harmonious. Happy. Brilliant. Beautiful. Pause at the bottom of the breath and feel the magical life force moving through your limbs. Yes, yes, yes. You are blessed. Today is a great day. Today, the value of my thoughts determines how I feel. If I catch myself thinking negatively, I know it's only leftovers from the old me, filtering out the programs I no longer need. I have a magical vortex full of things that I desire, and I'm actively manifesting. I allow new ideas to flow to me directly from the universe, along with abundance which flows easily. The more I acknowledge my gratitude for things I already have, I am tuning myself to the frequency of my own greatness. Of course, challenges are going to show up because I'm picking up momentum now, moving forward on my path. When I encounter something that doesn't feel good, I will simply notice it, watch it, remember to breathe, and say thank you to my guidance system that allows me to adjust, pivot, and upgrade further. I'm clarifying what I want and what will bring me the most joy. I'm surprised to find the outcome is often something better than I could even imagine for myself. I really am that bitch. My vibration is a magnet, attracting and pulling blessings into my life. All I have to do is be a vibrational match to what I want, find the feeling of already having it, and hold. I'm so grateful to be an extension of God, to know my purpose, which may not be perfectly clear today, but is absolutely already mine. I enjoy this journey, feeling impulses for what I'm ready for, staying present, surrendered.
Welcome, everyone. It is day 2, and that song reminds me so much of Keri Johnson because of the activations that you have on YouTube and your manifesting abilities. Everyone, I would like to welcome Keri Johnson, most amazing woman. She is just so phenomenal. Keri Johnson is from Naples, Florida, and she has been a self-taught portrait photographer for 23 years. She photographed my first son when he was just a little baby, and she did such a phenomenal job on it. He was so camera ready, and she really brought that, and Max and I out in that session. She specializes in helping women experience the essence of who they fully and truly are as they are able to be their authentic self. And as they step in front of the camera, I know for me, I don't love being photographed. I'm kind of a little awkward at it, you know, like I want to be like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's not like, you know, because I don't know how to act, or I want to be like, you know, but Keri brings out the essence in women by combining a mix of energetic techniques and a comfortable environment. She helps her clients embrace more confidence while overcoming the fear of being seen. And I would just have to say, I was talking to Beth on Sunday night, and we were talking about how she you know, got her pictures done with you. And she was saying how she was really nervous. And I was like, Beth, I know what you were talking about. I canceled 3 times. I rescheduled 3 times with Keri when I was supposed to get photographed. And she was like, really? Why? And I was like, because I was scared out of my mind of like being seen. And I know that like that doesn't feel like it's true, but it is true. You know, like being seen in front of the camera, it can, you know, it can be very, very scary. But not only are you a phenomenal photographer and that you bring that out for women, you are also a manifesting or woman-festing machine. Like you generate and create like this. And so whenever I decided to have this immersion, I thought, okay, I need 10 speakers. Who's going to be my 10 speakers? And immediately I was like, Keri, manifesting. I need Keri, manifesting. So let's start this off. You know, how'd you get started in photography?
I love you. Thank you very much. I love that song, that meditation, whatever that was too. So how did I get started in photography? When I was 8 years old, I knew that there was magic in the world. I didn't know how, I didn't know what, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that in my soul, I would get so excited. I knew that there was something big, but all the adults around me said there wasn't, that I was living in a fantasy world or looking for a fantasy world that just didn't exist. And as I would see my great, you know, aunts and uncles playing dominoes, you know, cracking the nuts, you know, just talking, you know, whatever about people or just, you know, complaining, you know, I was like, they do that and then they die. That's it. We work our whole lives and then we just die. I'm like, nope, that's not true. I know that there's something out there. So society and my family life took me away. I did everything I was supposed to do. When I was born, I had a big checklist. I checked all the boxes for everybody else, went to college, got married, had a baby. And then all of a sudden, when I had that baby in the first year of my marriage, my life came to a halt. Like my fairy tale turned into a nightmare. And then that's when I found manifesting, because I was with this baby and I was told that if I wanted to stay home with her, that I was going to have to sell my car, sell our house, go down to 1-car family and move into a smaller home. So I was like, I see the cage over there. Let me just go take this baby and we'll just sit in the cage until I can figure this out. And I'm like a bird, like I can't, like, I was caged and I could feel it that moment, but I didn't feel like I had any gifts or talents or confidence or anything that I could make money at other than 9-to-5 job, you know, that I was used to. And I was miserable. I didn't know what to do at that time. So I had 2 things. I had a baby and a camera. I didn't know anything about photography though either. So I was like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And she didn't sleep. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You know, as I would take her pictures and I prayed, I just went to whatever, like, I don't like this. I don't like that. This doesn't look anything like it's supposed to look. You know, it doesn't look like anything. I saw it on Christmas Eve with the beautiful families in the back of the church holding their babies that I so craved to have that experience one time, one night, you know. in my life, but the feeling wasn't there. I wanted that, but I didn't know anything about the feeling of it. So I questioned some of those things later on. But as I was praying, I would get one direction at a time. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Why don't I try that? Oh, that's a great idea. Why don't I do that? And as I listened, I would get guided more, not more than I could handle, one direction at a time. If I took that direction, it was almost like I got rewarded another direction. And I didn't even really feel like it was coming from anywhere. I'm just like, oh, great idea. Like it just came in my mind, and built a very, very successful business. Just self-taught myself everything because I needed money. I needed to figure out what I was doing. Well, 10 years later, I was in the marriage for 10 years, another baby comes along. Cause I'm like, maybe I did just make my bed and I have to lay in it. Maybe they were right. And I'm like, oh, so awful, And then I found out that they were not right, because I was just being guided because nobody was helping me. Then I had the opportunity, and I took it, to do things my own way, to live my own life. Nobody then could tell me to do anything, how to run my business. They lost their clout, I guess, in my mind, because no one helped me when I needed to get divorced. No one helped me when I was going through financial issues. No one was there. So I felt slighted, but God was there for me. My faith was there. My baby was there. So I messed up a lot along the way, obviously. But I got up and I just kept going, because there was no option to stop for me. What do we do if I just stop? I just stand still and we go nowhere. Like, that wasn't very fun. Didn't sound very fun to me, So I just kept trying different things when it came to photography and when it came to manifesting, what works, what doesn't work. But I found that everything, many things that I spoke came in very, very quickly, very quickly. It was literally, I could call out a number and I would make it at that studio that day. I could, knock a judge off a case. I'm like, what is good and bad though? Because I'm Italian, Irish. So I was like fiery, and I want a divorce. I want this, I want that, and all of a sudden it's like, here you go. So I was like, what's happening here? And I called my dad a couple of times, and I'm like, something's happening. Everything I speak, I get, I don't know. No one knew. No one could teach me that actually something was happening. And then I happened upon The Secret, and then I happened upon Wayne Dyer. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, here's my fantasy world. I felt like I just clicked in like a puzzle piece when I sat down and watched them. And I'm like, it was incredible to know that we have a way out of things. But I had found that by not having money, not having support, only having those two things, a baby and a camera. And I was able to do it. I was able to do whatever I want to. So you don't have to, it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is. It doesn't matter if you have money or no money. You can sit, write, speak, and things will just come to you. That was the most important lesson I think I learned.
Sit, write, and speak.
Because there's magic in your mouth. Didn't we talk about that?
It's funny that you say that, because I said that yesterday. The words that we say are magic.
And that's why I wanted to learn what I was doing, because it was scaring me that I was calling in bad things too. Good and bad. So how do I keep the bad out and amplify the good?
How do you keep the bad out and amplify the good?
Good question. By not focusing on the bad, by when something's happening, we can shift it in a moment if you're aware of it, instead of talking about it, instead of complaining about it, instead of putting all your energy in it, because you can just kind of as easily move this way, look up versus look down. We can pretty easily. We've been conditioned to only, complain about the bad because we don't understand, and it's the conditioning and everything that we were brought up with. And if you don't have a good support team or system or family or mentors or friends around you that can kind of keep you in that state, or, well, why don't you look at it this way? Let's have a different perspective on it. Maybe it's happening for a good reason, because some things, divorce is divorce, but I was only there in that marriage, which I didn't know at that time because I was young and extremely naive, to bring my daughters in. Their souls needed to come in. And that was, I believe, what our agreement was. And Beth put me in my place when I met with her. And I'm like, she asked me about my ex, and I'm like, vanilla. And she goes, well, you must have been vanilla too, because you couldn't have matched up with him if you weren't on the frequency. And I'm like, I am not vanilla. And she's like, you were. And I'm like, so I thought about that, and I'm like, damn, for a moment I was vanilla but then vanilla and vanilla doesn't equal sprinkles and sparkles. I mean, vanilla is just like, so I was like, I don't like this. I don't like vanilla. So I needed to, and that's why it didn't work. That's why it was so painful. That's why we were, I was there for a couple things and then I needed to figure my way out of it.
You have a good relationship with your ex-husband now, though.
I do. Yeah. And so that's why I don't want to beat him up. It's been a long time.
No, you're not beating him up. I don't feel like you're beating him up at all, but you have a good relationship.
I do. And the girls do too. Yeah. Yeah. So
and
for me, he was perfect. He was docile, which, it was great for me, but then I became the alpha. So that was a whole nother relationship thing that I'm like, I thought I wanted this traditional marriage. And the more I worked, the less, it's just like I turned it around. I did it. I didn't know I did it. I thought it was everyone else's fault, I was but I learned a lot.
So, how do we be okay when things don't look or feel okay? When, if we're in a marriage or a partnership and things are getting really rocky, how do we be okay with the not okay?
Right. Oh, there were two different versions of me. When I was not okay in that time, I was young and human, very reactive, very bitchy, very complaining. I did everything that you're not supposed to do, but I didn't know any better until I saw people around me in situations like that. I saw how they were acting and how they were speaking and how that looked and sounded. I was like, oh, I don't want to be like that. I don't want that. So in order to be okay throughout my years, when things don't look okay, now I know, because now I have the tools to understand what's happening. If I don't like it, I can change it. I called it in for some reason. So I have to check in with me. Why is this happening to me? And then I go, right. I'm like, even if it's just like, walking into Home Goods and all of a sudden people are cutting you off and slamming door, like you're not even there, and I'm like, what is going on? It's like, I'm not in the right realm here, and immediately I'm like, this shit's going to stop right now. Fix this. People respect me. I respect people, whatever. And all of a sudden someone's like, here, ma'am, do you want a cart? Let me hold that for you. And I'm like, thank you. Like immediately things shift like that. If you're aware of it, if you're getting knocked down, by life. And then I go, I write. So what do I want? I don't want this. I don't like this. I don't like how this feels. What's going to make me feel better? So immediately in the moment, I can maybe choose a couple things to do that will make me feel better. Maybe go get a massage, go to Happy Feet like I did yesterday, watch a good movie, go see my daughters and her horses. There are things out there that I have that I can be grateful for, that I can do, that are number 10 experiences. Because I always say, if it's not a number 10 experience, I don't really want to participate in it. So I try to, and it's a daily practice. It's not just, I want this, and then go along in your normal life. If you want to move out of that life, it's a daily practice, like the gym, and that's what I've learned. It's like, I got to wake up right. I have to go to bed right. I have to, have my thoughts correct when I go to bed.
So what if you don't wake up right? How do you shift?
Yeah, I don't wake up. I often wake up right because I've set it up the night before.
So you were setting up your day the night before. And so show us or tell us what that looks like.
I've got several processes. One of them is it's the 3-3-3 process that the first night, you're only going to get two out of the three, not 3 out of 3, because you're going to bed. Okay, what do I want to have happen either right now or tomorrow? I want to fall asleep amazing. I want to sleep so comfortably. I want to dream and remember my dreams. I want to wake up on time or right before my alarm goes off, refreshed, ready to jump out of bed, and look forward to going to the gym. I want someone to make me laugh out loud, whatever. You could do as many as you want to, then I get into some silly things, but, and then the next day you'll see how those things came in and then what you're grateful for. So then you're setting yourself up, you're doing 3 things that you want to have happen. And then the next day you see how they come in and then you're grateful for that. And then you do the same thing again. You don't have to do 3, you can do 1, but it's pretty much. And then if I go to bed though, because obviously things happen, that are out of my control, that upset me. But then I'm also like, I called it in somehow. I'm not going to let it, I'm going to try not to let it affect me, because if this world's so malleable and it's not really real, the only reality is in our minds that we imagine. So I'm just going to reimagine it and then still be okay with it, because nobody and nothing can control me or hurt me. Nobody or nothing has power over me. And when you go and walk through life like that, people they move out of your way. They just, the energy moves.
I love that. No one or nothing has power over me. And Joe Dispenza talks about that. He talks about how you getting upset about X, Y, and Z, you're letting that person control your emotions and your reality. And while, that's easier said than done, right? It's pretty valid.
But the more you live in a sense of freedom and flow, and you have your practices, and you're aware of what's not just like drifting, not being a drifter, the strongest energy.
Not being a drifter. Tell me more about that.
90% of people are drifters. They're just here. They don't like when I was 8 years old, everyone around the table, they were all drifters because they didn't really get it. They just were like, they just woke up, went to work, did the same thing every single day, and didn't know that there was a match. And they were bored with life. They were like, there's nothing more to life, and then they didn't find it. So the strongest energy wins. And if you don't have a purposeful, stance or walk or idea, or you're not getting yourself somewhere, you're just kind of living and existing and not thriving. You're just surviving and then complaining about the daily tasks. You're drifting. So then other people's energy, you'll be a ping pong ball, a pinball in there. You want to be the flippers, or do you want to be the ball? I want to be the flippers.
Do you want to be the flippers?
Literally, because you're like just getting banged around with other people's energies, and then more and more of that you're going to be attracting.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that, because I've been a pinball before. I
have too.
I have when from 2019 to probably 2022, I bounced off of other people's energy, and I took on other people's energy, and I kind of lost a sense of myself because I was pinballing in the energy. Now that you make me very aware of that. That's very interesting.
But so when we become that pinball, what is it? Pinball. A pinball.
Right, it's pinball. Isn't it pinball? I think pinball machine.
I haven't played in a while. Yeah. A pinball, we all do that. I mean, we go back and forth. Everything's a flow, the flippers one day, the pinball. When I'm the pinball, I'm like, but when I'm the pinball, the difference today versus a long time ago is I recognize that something's wrong, and I need to command it to stop, or to change, or to be right.
So you're taking accountability for your part in it.
Because I don't want to be a pinball. Yeah. Because it doesn't.
You're not a victim in the energy.
Right.
You're realizing that, hey, I'm contributing to this in some way. I command change.
Yep.
Within me and my angels to come in, and I command change.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So we want to manifest, right? We want to create the life that we desire. 2023 is a 7 year. 7 is a very spiritual number. 7 days, 7 nights. I think there's like 7 oceans, and this is all about going within and your intentions and attracting what you desire. So my question. Oh, 7 continents. Thank you. 7 continents, not 7 oceans. Thank you, Tracy. I think you're right, Tracy. Maybe even 7 oceans. I can't remember. But how do we accelerate our manifestation? How do we accelerate our manifestation?
I started scripting a long time ago when I found out this knowledge. And
okay, scripting meaning writing
things down. And this is what when I got divorced, right before the ink was even dry, the market crashed. Like we had that big crash, and I was supposed to
2008.
yeah. So my business stopped. I had a big chunk of money I was supposed to pay out to my ex. Like all of a sudden, nothing I knew anymore was working. So as I was watching, these programs or whatever, all I could do was be. Everything I was pushing against was pushing back at me. It's like if you're pushing against a mirror, you're pushing back. If you're yelling at yourself in a mirror, you're being yelled at, So I learned a lot of that, a long time ago. And I just was scripting. I always liked creative writing, but I was, where do I want to be? So I almost created like a movie scene as I am the main character. You probably have heard this, people talk about it a lot now, but I didn't know that. I'm the main character. Everyone else around me, if I choose them to be in it, they're extras. I'm no longer going to be an extra in my own life, no matter what. So I'll take a short scene now, because now I don't like writing all that much anymore, that long. Because I used to just write books and books, pages and pages, not books and books. But I would take something that I wanted and just write a short scene, because even now I've learned that it's so much simpler than I would even make it. I mean, I tend to complicate things anyways, but it's so much simpler. Write a little scene of you being in the scene that you want to actually bring into your reality. It's not looking at yourself on a screen. It's closing your eyes and you seeing yourself, you seeing your hands, your feet, you driving, whatever it is. Like, so then I'll close my eyes, see that scene for like a minute or two, conjure up the feeling of it, go to bed with it. When I wake up at 3 a.m. or whatever, I'm right back into it, that scene or a different one. And I play with it. I play with my mind. I play with the energy. I play with, because I was alone a lot, no one was supporting me. So I'm like, I can do whatever I want. I can look silly. I can do this. So I tried a lot of different things and I don't care, and that worked. And then I let it go. Then I'll let it go and be like, I don't know when it's going to come in. I have to be open to the possibility of allowing the universe to deliver it in a magical way, because we're so small-minded. We only can see certain things. And every manifestation that has come in has been on such a grandiose scale. And so many things have come in that should not have come in for me, but just because I said it, I did it. That's why I got this strange thing that shouldn't happen to me, and it upset a lot of people when they saw things like that come in for me. So that was a whole nother thing.
So what you're telling me is that you visualize, and when you're visualizing, you
Specifically, you can do like a big scene, but then you just take a chunk out of it specifically.
And then while you're visualizing, you get in that feeling of it, of what it feels like. So you're saying you're connecting your mind and your brain to the feeling, which is your heart, which adds up to brain and heart coherence. And then you just let it go.
Right.
And you don't have an attachment to it, because you know that your universe takes care of you.
Right. It's the faith, staying in faith and getting excited for how it's going to come in. And that helped me many, many times when I didn't know what was going to happen, because I was right back there again, like no business and all this stuff, kind of looking out and just getting so excited that something magical is going to come in. Like, I will be okay. This is what I want. And because I want it, it will come in somehow. And I just had to be open for the way it was going to come in and not stop it.
So one of my favorite things about you on Instagram is the little games you play and the little manifesting games you play. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like how you're like, so tell the one about Jimmy John's. Wasn't it Jimmy John's, or was it the sub place that you went to, and before the sub place you were like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to, tell a story.
I remember a couple of things happened when I was driving to Jimmy John's. It was my first trip to Jimmy John's, and it's right across from the firehouse, right? And I'm like, I wonder if the firefighters eat Jimmy John's. And right as soon as I pulled up, they came out with the firefighters walked right in front of my car. And I go, well, that answers that. Thank you. What else do we want to know? It was a couple of things like that happened.
Yeah. Because and then we were talking about how much we love firefighters,
Yeah. So I think we pivoted our conversation.
Yeah, we pivoted. What other kind of little games do you play to just see, like if your universe is listening?
I used to do it with my girls.
Fun with the manifesting.
Yeah. I like to have fun and do little silly things, fun things, because it's the same energy. We just put the pressure on the bigger things. It's the same thing though, So I had a little girl say orange a couple weeks ago. I was on a photo shoot and I'm driving and I'm like, what do I want to do today? I want someone to say orange, hand me an orange, hand me something orange, something like that. Orange was the theme of the day for me. And I go and do the photo shoot. And this little blonde 4-year-old, was there playing with bubbles, and I'm just getting some pictures of her. And she was telling me about her friend in school likes the taste of bubbles and said for her to probably try some bubbles. And I go, I don't know if that's a really great idea, but bubbles but go ahead, go along. And she tasted the bubbles and I'm like, and what does it taste like? And she goes, yuck. And I go, yeah, I know. I go, what did it taste like? And she goes, oranges. Where did that come from her?
Yeah.
And I have that on tape. I'm just like, so our energy is connecting with other people and giving them thoughts also. So anytime we're thinking about something, we all have these tuners work. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I guess that actually really is, are you hearing me? Someone's hearing you, and they will come without knowing it. It's like you're bringing in the people that you need or the thing that you need. And what I keep saying too is the universe is mathematical. The precision, when you see a manifestation come in, the precise elements that were part of it cannot be done by a human. It cannot be, everything. So if you don't think that you're in the right place, everyone is exactly where they're supposed to be until you're not in there, then manifest your way out of it. But every little bridge of incidents, every little thing to move all of us, the whole planet, we're being moved around, directed to get, so everybody can, or the manifestors to get what you want, good or bad.
So we're never a victim.
No, never a victim. And I've got someone in my family and that claims victim all the time. Asked him a question yesterday, very simple question. He just went off. And I'm like, how is that working for you? How's that work? How is that attitude working for you? Why are you so, angry? He's out of the, he can't get out of it. He can't get out of the victimhood, or he's not wanting to, willing to, or ready to. I don't know, but I'm like, that just rattled my nervous system, that whole, you know what I mean? And so I see people like that.
So how do you protect yourself in situations like that? Like, because that can kind of throw you off in a way.
Yeah.
So how do you protect yourself when stuff like that comes up? When you have I have someone in my family that, I'm just going to be honest. My ex-husband, God love him. He's a great person, but that he is not the most positive person. It was so funny. We were at dinner last Wednesday night in Miami. We took all the kids out. I think that's my friend just got here. I'm just going to shut my door. So we were at dinner, And when I don't have my kids, a couple of friends just will stop by. So she just stopped by. She doesn't realize I'm on a meeting. So he said, he said, "Oh, are you doing an Instagram story for your positive mindset movement?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's hilarious." Like my positive mindset movement. So for me, with him, like I laugh it off. And I keep the peace with it. But for other people, I think I would, how do we protect ourselves when someone is, just like, you're full of shit, basically. And you're not, you don't create everything.
Well, that I think two different things. I always try to protect myself, and I don't always do it, but I just, what I say, I always do it and I don't do it, so in the mornings or whatever, whenever I need to, whenever I think about it, to put that protection of bubble of light around you and everybody else, like your family, your kids, the cars, I'm always, trying to do that as much as I can when I think about it. That is in my practice, but if I don't do it in the mornings and something happens, I'm like, quick up, put that bubble light, or back this person up. Like I'm always mentally, I'm like, what's happening? Why are you so close to me? I'm like, back them up. Line, get these lines moving, I'm like, find me oh, ma'am, I'll take your, thank you very much. So it's like, but it's being aware and using them, using your angels, using God, using your source, because they're there waiting. And there was a time when I was just like freaking out over something that was going on in my life. And I went into my bedroom and I was just commanding, I did not sign up for this. I'm not doing this alone. No way. Oh, no. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to, but show me the way. I will not do this one more day. Within 24 hours, I want this X, Y, and Z, period, the end. And I sat down and I was like, and all of a sudden I looked up to the ceiling and it was almost like I could see this big God, whatever, that just was like, and gave me like a wink. We were going to wait. We were waiting for you to ask. We were waiting.
You're saying our angels and our guides are waiting for us.
Yeah. I almost started crying. I'm like, oh, I just look like a total idiot, right? Dancing around, just screaming, and they're just like, we were just waiting for you to ask. They can't come in unless we ask. And within 24 hours, I got the thing that I needed. Why do it alone? We're not here to do it alone. No way can we do it alone. This is just too much for us. And that's, I think, something that we are here to learn also, is to learn how to live and thrive in life I'm like, I'm not doing it today. I'll be at the beach. Give me something. Like, I'm not doing it. And when I'm calm, when I surrender, when I don't push, rush, and force that mirror, my life works better.
So don't force and rush. Surrender and allow.
Yep. Allowing it, and be okay right now with whatever's going on, because no matter what, in this very, 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 very moment, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And knowing that if we know how to create and everything's fine in this moment, then there's no problem. We can move things.
Joe Dispenza has a meditation, changing boxes, where you silence your mind. You get really silenced in your mind. You go into the quantum field of existence where there is nothingness, and you draw a box and you put your problem in that box, or your contrast, whatever needs to be figured out, you put it in that box, and then you draw another box and you step into that box, and that is where the kind of like solution is that and you get into the feeling of it all working out, because there are so many different. Oh, I just had a call today that we were talking about how many different scenarios things can have. You know, there's so many different scenarios that moments can have. And so what is the biggest thing that you can do to attract the highest scenario for yourself whenever you're going out into the world, basically?
Don't put limits on anything. Know what you know what you want, but not necessarily exactly what you want, how you want to feel in having it. Because we're going after the feeling of it, not really the materialistic thing of it. So, and people have no, but I want that thing. I want that. I want him. I want that house. I want that exact thing. Well, why do you want that house? Go into the house, imagine it, how does it make you feel? It makes me feel that, this way. I want it because it's, spacious, or it has a view or whatever. Okay, great. So concentrate on the feeling of it. You're sitting on your lanai, you're looking at you're almost building it in your mind by the feeling of it, not necessarily the materialistic thing of it. And you will be delivered that or greater, and you will have that feeling. So does it really matter if it's that blue house or the red house? Does that part really matter? If you're in whatever you're delivered, if you have that same feeling delivered to you, then it really doesn't matter. So it's really the feeling of what we want.
So the feeling is where it all happens.
Yep.
Yeah. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah. When I was in my meditation last night, you visualize that which you want, and then you feel what it is like to be living it. And the feeling is what draws everything to us.
And also hearing other people, if you were in that scenario, what would people be saying around you? Oh my gosh, congratulations. So you imagine something like that. Congratulations, or I bought you this for the thing, or, whatever it is, whatever scenario it is, imagine some of those little scenarios and just and then smile and play along with it in your imagination, because it's going to get you smiling and feeling good.
Yeah. Like a kid does.
Yeah. We were told to daydream. I was like, get your head out of the clouds. Stop daydreaming. No, that's where we belong, daydreaming, because that's where we create.
Yeah, I love that. I talked about the mindset of being a kid earlier today, and how, we can have fun and fitness by a shift in mindset. So when did you start this whole, I know you do your photography, but you also have coaching for people on manifesting. And so when did you start that?
I wanted to do it a few years into my photography. I wanted to share it, but I wasn't ready, I guess, because it didn't happen, or I didn't, maybe I didn't know enough. Maybe I wasn't that, otherwise it should have happened. Right. So what I had to do was, when we got shut down in the pandemic, and I immediately quickly pivoted to online, and I had to do live videos, which I was petrified of. I did not want to be seen. I wanted to be behind the camera and video you. I did not want to be seen, and it was terrifying for me. And I'm like, I'm doing manifesting. I can manifest anything I want. There's got to be another way. I'm going to manifest another way of doing this. Sure. I found out there are different ways you can do it. I could just do post videos. I could do, just text messages or whatever it is. But if I want, it came to me, if I want to get to where I want to go faster, if I want to accelerate it, my choice was all of those things. And the one fastest way would be a live video. So I just had to jump into it and do it.
Yeah, I have to say, your lives are amazing. Your reels on social media are amazing. Charity, if you could put her links in the chat for everyone, that would be awesome. If you do not follow Keri on social media, you definitely should. You have over 14,000 followers, I believe, on Instagram, because your reels are just amazing. Like
They're
you're
fun.
so inspiring on them with the information that you share. So tell me, what's your biggest manifesting win?
Let's see. I've had several. One of them was when I wrote down, and I was just playing a game with myself of thinking bigger.
Yeah, because you play games in this, you have fun and you're
Yeah.
very kid-like in it, and you laugh and you're like, oh, let me see if I can do this.
Right. So let me see if I can do that. So what were some of the things that I wanted years ago? Okay, I want to go to a film festival. That was what I wrote down. How can I think bigger than that? Well, if I'm going to a film festival, I need to be VIP. So then I want VIP tickets with this film festival. If I'm VIP already, then why not? Why shouldn't I just be honored at the red carpet event? Why not? Red carpet event party? Why not? And then I was at Silver Spot, and I was looking at all the posters, how the movie posters, and I was like, I want to be in one of those kiosks. I want to be on a movie poster. I want to be in a kiosk. Am I an actress?
You're a model also.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, you're a model. You're a published model. You have been in numerous magazines.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I haven't been in movies, so I was like, why?
Right.
So as people be like, why would you ever think that you would be in one of these? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I want to do it. I just want to play with it, And a second manifestation was someone is going to, because of the modeling, someone is going to just find me. I'm going to attract someone to find me to give me a modeling job or whatever, like a really good one. But I just thought that would be fun for like someone to find me on social media and offer me something like that. Those were separate. Months went by and I got a message from someone, hey, we're wondering if you can donate to this thing, that Naples is having. I thought it was photography. I, donate a lot of gift certificates. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, so the guy's going to call you to give you details. I'm like, okay, perfect. So he calls me and he goes, so it doesn't pay anything, but we're wondering if you would donate your time for the Naples Film Festival poster. And I'm like, it doesn't pay, but it gives you 2 VIP tickets and you'll be honored and celebrated at the red carpet event. And the poster will be everywhere. And I'm like, what? Hold on. I go through my book. Yep. And the poster also was in the kiosk next to Jennifer. And I'm like, and that's how it's done. So, I mean, you can't make this up. You cannot make it up.
No, I remember when that happened for you and you were like, oh my God, somehow I got on the Naples Film Festival poster. And I was like, what, really? You're like, yeah.
And one of my friends then was just like, why should you have gotten that? And I'm like, well, I wrote it down. That's it. Like, just because I said it.
Yeah.
So it upset people too. So it's like, that's the stuff that you got to, no, I like the way I play my life.
Right. Because you typically get whatever you ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So question. How can people, if they want to learn this manifesting, how can people work with you? How can they, they can follow you on social media, Instagram. She talks a lot about manifesting. You'll also see her artwork, her photography, which is great. You do such an amazing job with that. But how can people work with you if they want to with the manifesting?
I do one-on-one sessions. I package for that, but I also have a fairly new membership site called Activate, how to activate your manifestations, how to accelerate them, how to call in more good, keep out the bad. And that's $88 a month. It's a video vault of like all the trainings I've done in the past. I mean, it's got confidence trainings, money. It's got so much really cool meditations and activations in there too.
I love your activations. I mean, I have followed you on YouTube and which I don't think we have your link for YouTube, but it's just Keri Johnson, right?
It should be. Yeah. I have a link, a link tree in my, I've got it.
On your Instagram. Okay.
My Instagram too. So that's in there.
Find her on the link tree for, because YouTube has some great your activations are wonderful. And those meditations that you do can really just like shift.
Yeah, there's one of them I think that I've got a free one that you can get in the link tree in Instagram. And I didn't, I tried, obviously I like when things are divinely guided, things flow better like that. And these meditations and activations have been, and I was sending out some that free, I think it's a wealthy woman one. And people were like, writing me to say how powerful it was. And it brought them to tears. And like, it really resonated with them on that. They're not the victim. They are powerful. They are beautiful. They can do whatever they want to do, so it's just a reminder of that too, that we need reminders of that.
We're here to remind each other and to guide each other in this human experience, because we do, have moments of forgetting. It's part of the we're here to share knowledge with each other. If we know it all, then we're basically, dead. Like it's time to go back up to mother source, to source energy, if we know it all and we have all the answers. So
another thing that I try to focus on too, or recognize if something negative is happening, is everything can't be all bells and whistles. We wouldn't even know how to appreciate that if we didn't have the contrast. The contrast, we recognize it and we know how to change it. So so it just kind of keeps us in that lane, because we as humans, oh, let's go over here. And God's like, nope, over here, So the contrast is good, because you just can't eat vanilla all day long.
yeah. We need some variety.
We need variety. Yeah.
We need variety. And when we have contrast, it's remembrance to go within and decide what we really do want, and what are we contributing to the creation of that. So they can, you have a manifesting membership video vault and that is in your Instagram link tree also.
Yep, that's in there. Yep. And anybody from here that's interested, I do have a coupon for them. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you can send me that over, I'll throw it in I'll throw it in on this day under your video in the membership portal. And then people will be able to have that.
Good.
So if you could give us one of the biggest pieces of advice on being able to manifest that which we desire today, what would it be?
Own your power and be consistent and do something every day. Protect yourself, try to go to bed on the right mindset. So you wake up with it, and just kind of be aware of your day and live in joy. Try to find peace and bliss as much as you can.
That just made my heart flutter. And I gotta be honest, you guys, it made my nipples hard. You're talking to my soul whenever I get so excited like that. No, it really did. It made me flutter, because today's first session was all about, that mindset, and about like living in that kid mindset. The human experience can be so daunting and so intense and just so like, please send me home.
Yep.
But actually the human experience can be fun and can be joyous and
Yep.
can be creative and can be, like a game. It can be
Yes.
a game.
It is.
Yeah, it is a game, can be a game of what can I attract and create today. So, yeah, I love that piece of advice. Thank you. Anything else you want to share with us before we sign off?
I just had a thought about the game too. Life is hard. I don't ever want to come across like everything's so easy and everything I speak, I get, it's hard. And you say, well, let's go home. I've said that plenty of times, like, get me out of here, and then I get a piece of information that then gets me excited on how to play the game. It's like, we get it's just the knowledge that we get on how to play the game. And if you listen to it, your life will be a lot smoother. If you don't, you're pushing against the mirror. So I don't want to push against the mirror. I want to be the flippers.
The flippers. You want to be the flippers and the ping pong. Yeah, I don't want to be the ball anymore. I don't want to be like bouncing around.
No.
Not, and so I've really been talking a lot to my angels and guides on, show me the right way. And I'm really, really grateful, Keri, for the friendship that we have had over the years and all the remembrance that you have constantly given me, and the fun conversations and the thought-provoking conversations that we have had. So thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your knowledge with everyone and serving others.
This has been a gift for me. Yeah, I'm very grateful for you.
Yeah.
I
love you too. Okay, you guys, this will be in the membership portal just in case you want to watch it again. And so grateful to have you guys here. I hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday, and it is Taco Tuesday, so maybe you'll have some tacos. Who knows? So bye everyone. Have an amazing day.
Thank you, Charla.
Thank you, babe. Love you.
Love you.